quadrant did you put negative 7 pi over 6? What quadrant are we in? Got some 2s, we got some 1s. All right, let's talk about it. So first of all is negative, right? So that means you're going to rotate this direction because it's a negative angle. So we have, this is 0 pi over 6. I'm just going to write the whole thing out. This would be negative 3 pi over 6. This is negative 6 pi over 6. This is negative 9 pi over 6. And this is negative 12 pi over 6. So negative 7 is in between negative 6 and negative 9. So your terminal side should be right here. All right, somewhere in quadrant 2. All right, so now let's figure out 2 additional angles that have the same terminal side. So in order to do that, we're going to add and subtract 2 pi. So I have negative 7 pi over 6. And I have to add 2 pi. All right. In order to add, what do I have to multiply 2 pi by? 6. So that's going to change it to 12 pi over 6. So pick up your my bad. Don't pick up your calculator. You don't get a calculator. Pick up your brain, okay? And we're just adding and subtracting 12 pi over 6. Negative 7 plus 12 is the same thing as 12 minus 7. So my next angle is 5 pi over 6. Let me write that over here. So 5 pi over 6. Okay. 5 pi over 6 would be, if I started here, well, first of all, negative 7 pi over 6, I'm starting here and I'm going that way, right? Positive 5 pi over 6, I'm starting here and I'm stopping there. I'm stopping at the same place. The arm on the clock stops at the same place for negative 7 pi over 6 and positive 5 pi over 6. All right, if you were to do negative 7 pi minus 12 pi, you get negative 19 pi. All right, where is negative 19 pi? That means that I'm starting here because it's negative. I'm going this direction, but I do a full turn around the clock and then I keep going and then I stop there. But all 3, this is what I want to make sure you understand. All 3 of those angles have the same stopping place. That is why they are coterminal. The prefix co means the same or share. All right, so let's look at our unit circle that we started yesterday. And everyone already glued this down, so take out your notebooks because we are going to take some notes. You should already have this page glued down. So there are some things that I want to show you. Notice what it says cosine is equal to. What does it say cosine is equal to? X. What does it say sine is equal to? Y. So let's go to our unit circle. What that means is the ordered pairs around the unit circle. The X value is your cosine, and you don't have to highlight it. And the Y values are your sine. So write this. Write the ordered pair at the top. Just remember, cosine and sine. That's really important. Okay. So now, let's fill in what is positive and negative. In quadrant 1, sine and cosine are positive, which means that everything is positive. So I want you to write all are positive, none is negative in quadrant 1. All six positive, none are negative in quadrant 1. All right, now let's go to quadrant 2. What did we make negative? X or Y? X. So because we made all of the x values negative, that means that sine is positive. Now here's the tricky question. Look at your cutout. Who is the sister to sine? Cosecant, CSC. These two are positive. The other four are negative. So let's fill it in. So that means cosine is negative, secant is negative, tangent is negative, cotangent is negative. All right, quadrant 3. So looking at your cutout, notice that the way we get tangent is by dividing. So tangent is y divided by x, and cotangent is x divided by y. What happens, because sine and cosine are both negative, what happens when you divide two things that are negative? What do you get? A positive. So in quadrant 3, tangent and cotangent are positive. The other four are negative. Sine, cosecant, cosine, and secant. All right, now let's go over to quadrant 4. What did we make negative in quadrant 4, x or y? Y. So I'm going to put my negatives. So because y is negative, that means x is positive. So what two do you think will be positive in quadrant 4? Cosine and secant. Good job. So cosine, secant, positive. And the other four are negative.
How did you know that they were the ones that are positive?
Because x is positive. X is positive because we put the negative with y. And remember, x is cosine. Go on to the top. X is cosine. And if one is positive, the sister automatically has the same sign. Because that's why they're sisters. I know that's a different class. Okay, y'all, so we're ready to get started. Let's do our first example. Go ahead and copy this down in your notebook. Somebody asked me earlier, how are we going to use it? Now we're getting ready to use it. So the only thing I need for you to write down is the example. Example 1, find all 6 trig functions for 30 degrees. Now this you should already have glued down, and this you should have on your unit circle. Your unit circle will be your calculator for the next 4 tests. Okay, so 30 degrees. First you want to do is find the angle 30 degrees. This is my 30 degrees, so this is what I'm working with. So again, let's zoom into this ordered pair. This is the cosine, and y is the sine. X is cosine, y is sine. Cosine and sine. So you should have those two automatically. So let's go ahead and fill that in. So the cosine of 30 degrees is positive root 3 over 2. And the sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. This is why we don't want you using a calculator. If you were to pick up the yellow calculator and type in cosine 30 degrees, it's going to tell you root 3 over 2. We don't want you to use a calculator. We want you to know the unit circle. All right, so now we have that. So now let's find the sisters. So in order to find the sister of cosine is secant, what do I have to do? Flip it. All right, let's do it. So the secant of 30 degrees is 2 over root 3. Can we leave it like that? No. Okay, Anaya, I got one person. That's okay. I just need one. Just need one person. We cannot leave a square root in the denominator. We have to get rid of it. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by the square root of 3. That is how you eliminate a radical. So when you do that, we get 2 root 3. And then 3 times 3 is 9, right? And what's the square root of 9? 3. So what I just did was I moved that 3. We can't leave it there. This is called rationalizing your denominator. So now we got 3 of the 6. All right, now let's do cosecant. Now cosecant is easy because sine is easy. What do you get when you flip 1/2? 2. 2 over 1. So if you take and flip it, you take 1 over 2 and you flip it, you get 2 over 1. You can put 2 over 1, but can we agree that anything divided by 1 is just itself? That's why I didn't write it. You can, I wouldn't take off on the test, but you don't have to. Now the problem children are tangent and cotangent. In order to find tangent, we have to take the y and divide it by x. In other words, I have to take sine and divide it by cosine. For cotangent, I have to take cosine and divide it by sine. So, let's do it. Let's start off with tangent. Tangent of 30 degrees. I have y 1/2 divided by square root of 3 over 2. Okay. I'm dividing 2 fractions. What do you have to do in order to divide fractions? Yep, keep, change, flip. Let's do it. So this is going to become 1/2 times 2 over square root of 3. All right, so here, see how I have a 2 up and a 2 down? I can cancel those out. So I have 1 over root 3, but unfortunately, I have the same problem with tangent that I had with secant. So we got to rationalize it. Multiply top and bottom by the square root of 3. This one is a long one. So you end up with positive root 3 over 3. So let me go ahead. So the tangent of 30 degrees is positive root 3 over 3. All right, now let's finish it out with cotangent. Cotangent is x over y. So I'm going to take root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. Go ahead and do your keep, change, flip. And you get root 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. Again, my 2's go away. But this time I don't have a radical in my denominator, so I can stop right there. So the cotangent of 30 degrees is just the square root of 3. So what we did was we used our unit circle to find all 6. So let me zoom out a little bit because I know that was a lot. So we have cosine and its sister. And then we have sine and her sister. I don't know why they're all women in my brain, but they're always girls. And then we have tangent and her sister. That's all 6. Any questions? All right, let's go to example 2. But before we go to example 2, I want you to look at your unit circle. these four, when we're talking about tangent and cotangent, these angles right here, we call these our 45, 45, 90. So here, 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 and here. These angles right here, they're from the 45, 45, 90. Okay? So because of that, X and Y are the same. So in order to find tangent and cotangent, we divide. What do you get whenever you divide two things that are the same? 1. Would you all agree that 1 divided by 1 is 1? 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1/2 divided by 1/2 is 1. So that means that my tangent and cotangent for 45 degrees is going to be 1. Tangent and cotangent is 1. And that's something that helps you, because I don't want you to waste time on the test doing keep, change, flip for a 45-degree angle. If it's a 45-degree angle, it's either a 1 or a -1 for tangent and cotangent. Let's go to quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, my isosceles is 135 degrees. So I'm still dividing two things that are the same, but one is negative. So what do you think tangent and cotangent will be in quadrant 2? -1. All right, let's write that down. Tangent and cotangent is -1. Now let's go down to quadrant 3. Quadrant 3, that's my 225-degree angle. This is when they're both negative, which is why tangent and cotangent is +1. Let's do that. And then lastly, my 315-degree angle, y is negative, x is positive. Tangent and cotangent will be -1. All right, that's really important. Don't waste time doing keep, change, flip for those angles, for those 45-degree angles. So now that we have done that, let's move on to example 2. And that is find all 6 for a 45-degree angle. This one should go way faster. I'm gonna give you a couple minutes. Find all 6 for 45 degrees. And because sine and cosine are the same, secant and cosecant will also be the same. And we already figured out what tangent and cotangent would be. So I'm gonna give you a couple minutes to see if you can fill in all 6. All right, let's see what we did. So we should have 4 of them right, like immediately, right? The only 2 that we might be kind of like, is the secant and cosecant. So sine of 45 degrees is root 2 over 2. The cosine of 45 degrees is root 2 over 2. The tangent of 45 degrees is 1. And the cotangent of 45 degrees is 1. So now let's do secant. Or not secant, let's do cosecant. Cosecant of 45 degrees is 2 over root 2. But we have a problem. The problem is we cannot leave a radical in our denominator. So I'm going to multiply this by the radical, which gives me 2 root 2 over 2. But I can do one more thing, though. What can I cancel out? The 2's. The 2's on the outside. Not the 2 under the hood, though. We got to leave that there. That has to stay. So the cosecant and the secant of 45 degrees is positive root 2. And that would be all 6 trig ratios for 45. So right here, this is where we at. All right, we're going to do one more. Then we're going to fill in the radians on our unit circle. So 150. I'm going to give you a couple minutes, see how many you can get by yourself. So I want you to find all six for 150 degrees. So find all 6 for 150 degrees. So that would be this one right here. So I'll give you a couple minutes to find all 6. Minutes. See how many you can get in 5 minutes. So in quadrant 2, what did we say was positive and negative in quadrant 2? Positive 2 is positive should only be sine and cosecant. That's it. The other 4 should be negative. All right, let's see how we did. And it's okay if you didn't get them all right. It's okay. We just learning. All right, so first of all, we know that x is, what's x going to be, sine or cosine? Cosine, and we know y is sine. So we got those two. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. So the cosine of 150 degrees is negative root 3 over 2. The sine of 150 degrees is 1/2. All right, who had those two? All right, that's good. So now let's flip them. The secant of 150 degrees, we have to flip it. It's going to be, it doesn't matter where you put that negative. I moved it up to the 2. You can keep it downstairs with the 3. It's negative as long as something is negative. But we have a problem, right? We can't leave it that way. We have to rationalize it. So my final answer for secant would be negative 2 root 3 over 3. So we have these two sisters down. They're sisters. Yes. Can it be 2? Oh, you mean can the minus sign be in between it? Yeah. No, because that looks like subtraction. So it's not 2 minus. That looks like you're taking 2 minus the square root of 3. So you want to put that negative in front. All right, so now the cosecant, that's not hard because all we have to do is flip 1/2 and we get 2. Okay. So now we just got 2 more. And that's tangent and cotangent. Those are the problems. They the worst ones. So tangent of 150 degrees, that is y divided by x. So I'm going to take my y, which is 1/2, and divide it by my x. Now we cannot leave, or we have to flip it. So that'll be 1/2 times negative 2 over root 3. All right, let me pause. Everybody see what I did so far? First, I started off by, because tangent is y over x. So I took my y coordinate, which is 1/2, and divided it by my x coordinate. That's how you do tangent. Okay, so we got that. So now, what can cancel? The 2's. So that's going to leave me with a negative 1. See how that, because there was a negative floating right here. It has to stay. So this becomes a negative 1 over root 3. And we got a problem. Same problem we had with secant. We got to get rid of that radical. So when you're done, you will get that the tangent of 150 degrees is negative root 3 over 3. All right, let's do the cotangent. Cotangent is x divided by y. So that would be negative root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. Keep, change, flip. This goes away. And all you have left is negative root 3. So the cotangent of 150 degrees is negative square root of 3. And that is all 6. I'm not even going to ask how many you got right, because we just started this, okay? All right, what I do want to do, the only thing left to fill in on your unit circle is radians. So go ahead, take out your unit circle. Everything else should be filled out. The only thing left is your radians. And in my opinion, that's the hardest thing to memorize, okay? But I do have some tricks. I have some tricks to help you. Okay. So here, oh, wait, let me go to the one I already filled out. Okay, so 30 degrees is the same as pi over 6. That's pi over 6. 45 degrees is pi over 4. 30 degrees is pi over 3. And 90 is pi over 2. And this is also 0. 0 degrees is 0 radians. All right, so we got the first quadrant. Now, the second quadrant has a little bit of a pattern. So we're going to have 2 over 3, 3 over 4, 5 over 6. Go ahead and put the pi. So I just remember this is 2 over 3, 3 over 4, 5 over 6. And again, I have a little trick that I'm going to show you all tomorrow. We already know that 180 degrees is what? Pi. All right, let's look at the third quadrant. So this one is 7 over 6, 5 over 4, 4 over 3. See, it's a little bit of a pattern. And 270 is 3 pi over 2. All right. And then the last piece is quadrant 4. For quadrant 4, that one's a little trickier. So we have 5 pi over 3. This is 7 pi over 4. And this is 11 pi over 6. And again, we know that 360 is 2 pi. So that is your full unit circle.